and me, and also Lizette Martínez Valerio, that is from Spain. Well, she's from Mexico, but she works with me in Spain. Hi everyone, I'm here to share a project that brings Wikipedia into the classroom, but not every classroom. In Spain, where life expectancy is over 85, I'm sorry, Bukola, I need silence. Sorry. In Spain, where life expectancy is over 85 years old, very many universities offer programs for older adults. Together with Fundación Madrid-Madrid, Wikimedia España, and several Madrid universities, we developed workshops on critical reading of Wikipedia. The goal to help older learners better understand and care of the knowledge ecosystems they already use every day. These workshops are designed for people who regularly search for information online, also on Wikipedia, and we use their everyday curiosity as a gateway to explore how information is built, searched, and evaluated. For many participants, it's the first time thinking critically about the articles they read, and they become deeply empowered. This is people in Spain that are very old. Our workshops focus on three main goals. First, learning to identify trustworthy sources of information. Second, understanding how Wikipedia works, how articles are created, edited, and maintained. And third, spotting areas for improvement and understanding how to contribute. We also practice source checking, fact verification, and group reading of real articles. We piloted this workshop at Universidad Pontífica de Comillas last November, and the response was very positive. Participants said they felt more confident reading Wikipedia, and they expressed their interest in going deeper. During this year, we will work with Universidad Carlos III and also Autónoma de Madrid. This program promotes active aging, media literacy, and participation in the commons. Wikipedia isn't just something we consume, something we can all care for and contribute to. We believe that older adults bring unique experience and perspective, and we invite more institutions to join this initiative. Thank you.
Hector, you can see?
That's everywhere. Thank you. While they get my slides, I'll start by saying I'm Claes Morata from Brazil. There they are.
The microphone. The microphone.
Yes. I'm talking about the lessons learned from studying different components of a Wikimedia strategy. And I'm part of that different projects. I'm here in health, with Project Medicine, and with Project Occupational Safety and Health, many. And I worked for most of my career in a public health institution, like the Ministry of Health, and also we have partnerships with many universities. So after 5 years of trying different ways, different strategies with Wikipedia, Wikimedia, Wikicommons, Wikiversity, everything, and building partnerships and international articulation with several institutions, we were able to analyze the impact of these different strategies. So we did this comparison looking at small workshops associated with an online campaign that was Wiki for World Hearing Day. We have done that many times. And also partnering with university programs, graduate and undergraduate, and other training programs, so that students would contribute subject-specific content as a part of their educational activity. So this full study was published by the journal BMC Public Health, and we describe the components in this open access paper. As you can see, the majority, we reach a large readership. The majority of the results came from the educational activities. Not surprising. Educational activities and online campaign, they proved to be both feasible. We were able to recruit both university professors and volunteers from different associations to run this small workshop. And of course, if the students know there is an online campaign, they are more inspired to do the work, and vice versa. So we also look, everybody's interested in the number of metrics, how many people read what you wrote, and but that's also valuable not only for ego, but for health communicators to understand what is the public looking for in Wikipedia, which articles they are interested in. But you have to be careful when interpreting the visualization results, because they vary, particularly when you have long events or long campaigns, because of course the visualization, if you add it on the first day of the campaign, the counting will be much longer than if you add it on the last day, things like that. And also language. So while the extent of edits is seen as a quality indicator, somebody who wrote a lot, sometimes a small edit in an article that gets a lot of attention can have a big impact. And one important lesson to recruit instructors, it's important that they understand they do not have to become a Wikipedia expert. They are intimidated. They don't think they know enough. So they need a little bit of hand holding so they understand what is the minimum expectation. And also they need to have an idea of the time burden versus the time saved doing this. This approach is flexible enough to be adjusted in other countries, in other contexts, and not surprisingly, the contribution of content Wikipedia through educational programs provided a much more robust result. And of course, this was a big project, mostly conducted in Brazilian universities. I have a lot of people to thank. Some of Hector's activities, he did several presentations, he's still going to do some more, come from this initial project and with many institutions and partners. Thank you.
I have from Dubai, basically I'm an educator working in CS and school. Today, in this session, I would like to talk about how students can use Wikimedia Commons items creatively in the classroom without having internet access to make meaningful educational results. So when we come to that topic, we should focus one public domain in the classroom. As you know that there are a lot of materials which does not have any copyright violation. Most of the time, Ezeilo students use images or items from Google, but we can use their commons, 20 images, those are available. And it's free of teachers and teach your students and also use it free. And also it's creative. critical thinking as well as creative use in the session. Similarly, it's also bringing an awareness to the students about open access and digital inclusion. Most important, students empowered and then they're getting the ownership of learning when we use public domain images and files in the classroom. Here you can see how our students use public domains images. My students use, they prepare a worksheet based on the images from Wikimedia Commons. Something they prepare map work. Here you can see there is a map work. This map work is actually designed by students. It was the outline map which we copied from Wikimedia Commons. Later the students marked two colors there where the countries in the world follow federal system, the other countries does not follow federal system. They highlighted with the different colors. Later, we made it as a new project and we uploaded that remix and we used items in Wikimedia Commons. Similarly, this is another outline map of Roman Empire where the students are going to locate where Rome is located, where is Carthage, where is Constantinople. Like that, they do the map work and later it's become a learning resource and we will be uploading into Wikimedia Commons. Similarly, we can create storyboards, infographics, similarly multimedia slides like PowerPoints. When they use Wikimedia Commons, they can prepare PowerPoint slides, including images from Wikimedia Commons. So when we do this kind of activity, why it is matter is students are becoming creators, not just a consumer. Most of the time they use internet for consuming knowledge or collecting information. Instead of that, now they are creating content and contributing. The most important thing is, I highlight here is that offline contribution is possible. If they do not have laptop or mobile phone, or if they do not have internet, if the teacher has some printed materials, definitely they can contribute as offline. Then later the teacher can collect all the worksheet or the files, they can upload. Another one is this we can do in primary grades, especially for educators. Sometimes we are unable to do educational activity with students who are studying in primary grades at the age of 7 or 8. But this we can conduct in a very creative way, especially in the lower grades. And also it's promote ethical reuse. When we upload this reused image, we have to give proper attributions. There is a similar session going on parallelly related to this, and stage 2. And so you will get more details, and I will be sharing this PPT in our comments so that you will be able to see what this particular students have done. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, the slides are being loaded. Hello everyone, I am Shreya, currently the board member of EduWiki user group, Wikipedia Administration user group. Today I will be talking about my club, Wiki Club NTCI, which I formed in the year of 2023. Okay.
Turn it around. Yeah.
So we are a student-driven Wikimedia club at SATI. SATI is the acronym of my college, which is Samrat Ashok Technological Institute. It's based in Vidisha, which is a very small district, and it covers the area under 10 kilometers only. So it is a very small city. So this is the volunteers. These are the volunteers who actively contribute to the Wiki projects. Okay, so our motto is open source, open knowledge, and open minds. And the vision is empowering students to contribute to free knowledge. These are some of the initiatives we have taken. We conducted a Wikidata and OpenStreetMap mentorship program with Atul, RT. Then we actively contribute to campaigns like Wikilove's Folklore. We also made videos for promotions in through social medias. I have some videos over here. I'll show it to you. Okay, so in 2024, from our college, there were around 600 contributions from our club and a total of 19,000 submissions all over India. And this year, the total submissions were 30,000. Our club actively participated in the promotions. We made promotional videos for YouTube and Instagram. The video you just saw was of a photo walk we conducted last year. This is also curricular folklore activities we conducted last year. Then this year we conducted, could you play the sound? Photo walk at Chandeli. And these are some of the videos. So this is our meta page. We have around 100 members. We started with one. I was the only one in the college who knew about Wikimedia, and it was really difficult to, tell everybody about the project, about the open movement and stuff. So now, now we have an army of 100 students, comprising of the board members. We have 14 board members also, and the elections occurs every year so that we can also sustain the club. Even if I graduate, the club should not die. So that is the vision. Now we are working on the technical side of the Wikimedia. So we conducted a few workshops. In one of the workshops, Nawaz also came to our college to conduct a meta-wiki workshop. This is the Women's Day celebration. Then some of the online workshops are club organized. And these are the collaboratives and networkings. We collaborated with Wikimedia Wiki User Group, Wikilove's Folklore, Wikilove's Africa, and Commons Photographers User Group. And this is our Instagram page. We have views up to 93,000 on one of our reels. And yeah, around 377 followers. Impact and achievements, we have conducted more than 15 workshops and 250, trained up to 250 plus students. And these are the club representations in various Wikimedia conferences happened in India. So we have Dave, Akshat, and some of the board members. Now, our future is opportunity for collaboration. As we are a working group, we have potential. We are open to collaboration. If you're working on some project or something, and if you want students to work on, we are open for that. Just write on wikiclubsati@gmail.com or reach out to us through Instagram or Meta page. So this is the board. And thank you.
Alexander?
Oh, microphone a little bit. It's scary. Hello, hello.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to present a proposed expansion WikiKids, an educational board game that simulates the Wikipedia editing process, aiming to foster understanding of the creation, validation, and dissemination of new knowledge. The Wikis is a good game, created by Wikimedia France, and we believe that it can be very useful as a teaching material. We are suggesting that the game incorporates characteristics specific to the regions and cultures in which it is used. We propose small additions with particularities of the Brazilian situation, and we invite other countries to do the same based on their characteristics, of course. The proposed expansion of WikiKids seeks to incorporate challenges faced by Brazil. For example, our communities highlighting infrastructural obstacles and representation gaps within Wikipedia. We are introducing new contributions cards, for example, mobile editing, which reflects users primarily accessing the internet via mobile devices and limited connectivity, representing challenges caused by unstable internet access. Besides that, we have added mechanics focusing on equity and representation, matching diverse sources of information, earning extra points, and collecting cards that symbolize different perspectives of our social diversity at bonus points, emphasizing the importance of diverse viewpoints, not only two perspectives, as in the original games. These enhancements align the game with real-world experience of editors from the Global South, encouraging discussion on digital inequalities and representation, and strengthen Wiki's role as a critical educational tool. Gracias. Thank you.
Ballard? Ballard is here?
Good afternoon, everyone. While they are getting the slides ready. Hello. Okay, while they are getting the slides ready, let me tell you about myself. My name is Ezeilo, I'm from Nigeria. And, okay, the slide is on. So my topic is on the role of Wiki Club in Nigerian schools, using Wiki Club as a vital community model for promoting safer digital practice. That's the topic. Now, the club was established in November 2023. There's a collaboration between myself, the school administration, and EduWiki Nigeria. The initiative is to empower students by teaching them how to navigate the online digital space safely. Also, we have to, through the club, we are going to teach them how to access information, how to evaluate information, due to a lot of fake news flying up and down. So the club was established to teach them this. And some of the concepts that we taught the students were one, keywords, an offline reader, Wikipedia reader that allows you to operate the online space without internet. We know the problem of internet connectivity in the African region. The other one is online safety and security, teaching them how to protect their privacy and manage their digital footprint online. Another one is information literacy, teaching students how to evaluate and verify information online. Digital citizenship and media literacy, promoting responsible online behavior. Instead of bullying people online, you have to behave responsibly when you're on the online platform. There are Wikimedia and online collaboration, encouraging students to contribute to global knowledge through using Wikimedia projects. The other one is volunteerism, teaching students to contribute free labor and service without seeking for any payback. Also, I've learned today about AI, so I'm going to introduce it maybe when I go back. So this is the co-founders of EduWiki, myself and Bukola. So we started this project in Nigeria. Now, there are different strategies that we used. One is edit-a-thon. Students were taught how to do edit-a-thon, practical lessons on how to contribute on wiki projects. And the first wiki project we did was Wikidata. And luckily for us, the Igbo Wikimedia user group supported us on this project. The second one is integrating Wikipedia into our school curriculum, Nigerian school curriculum. This is a classification of subjects that I designed for my school library. For the junior section, they have a minimum of 20 subjects and maximum of 18 subjects. So I had to classify it the way it is designed in the curriculum. When they say science, there are subjects under science. When they say languages, there are 5 languages that we do in school. When they say social science, there are subjects under social science. That's the way I classify it. So in the library, they find it easier to assess and identify which of the subjects they are looking for or how they can access it and work with it. The second strategy is digital, training them how to access digital story. We use the digital story waiver platform to do this. We access storybooks from digital story waiver platform. Then they read the story and they tell us what they have learned from the story. The other one is train the trainer. Sometimes students don't learn at the same level. Some are fast learners, others are slow learners. So the fast ones learn and then teach the slow ones, those that cannot grasp it immediately. Another strategy is community engagement. We have community activities that the club do participate in. One is the inter-house wars. Inter-house wars is where different the hostel in the school do sport. So our community wiki club participated in match pack and we came second. That's our prize. Then the other one we participated in the African Day celebration. Yeah. Another impact of this wiki club in school is the students have the ability to develop research skills. Now they can be able to access reliable information. They now understood what reliable information, when you say that an information is reliable, they now get to know what reliable information is all about. Then it tells them to improve their academic performance. Now for this, I used during our reading Wikipedia in the classroom, there was one method we were taught, the 4-way method. You find a topic on the wiki space. On this topic, let me use mathematics, for example, there's fraction or civic education. When you go to the page that discusses civic education, you will see hyperlinks or blue links. Now you can group the class into 4 and now ask them to click on 4 different links. Then they will come back and discuss the link, what they have learned from the link. And they really enjoy that aspect. The other one is community and civic engagement. The impact is they've been able to have a sense of responsibility. They now know that they can contribute to community activities. It also enhances their critical thinking. This is one part of wiki policy that helps them to think critically in solving problems. Even if the teacher is not there, they know what to do. When you give them assignments, even if you're not there, they can help you and do it. Okay, work with it. Then mentorship and leadership. The older ones mentor the younger ones. We have 2 challenges. One is software and tools limitation. I have like over 100 students that want to participate, that want to be a member of the club, but I have a limited space and 17 laptops to work with. These digital devices, I can give them to those that want to participate, but because of limited tools and space, they cannot. Those that are participating, even if there's tools, but because of they don't have the access to the tools that are available, there's also a problem. And because they are many, the space cannot contain many of them. I'll just take a few of them. Sorry about that. So that's it. Thank you.
Hola a todos. ¿Qué tal? Lo que se carga mi presentación, voy a aprovechar para cantarles una canción. And now the end is here. This song, sorry.
Yeah, version.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jonathan. I am from Mexico, and I would like to talk with you about the Wikipedia Impact Index, a proposal for a bibliometric indicator for Wikipedia. Wikipedia is considered a global academic reference source. There are numerous metrics and indicators for evaluating the quality of scientific publications. However, very few validate Wikipedia. Based on this premise, the creation of a bibliometric indicator for Wikipedia is proposed. The Wikipedia Impact Index proposes the following indicators. Number one, quality index. Apply an evaluation scale based on criteria such as the use of reliable sources, article structure, and type of content. Feature article criteria can be included. Number two, visibility index. Based on the number of visits and clicks or hits a Wikipedia article receives. This is a human readable. Number three, an impact index. Based on the number of visits, number three, impact index. Quantify the number of times a Wikipedia article is cited in academic publications, websites, and social media. Hybrid of traditional bibliometric indicators and alternative metrics. Number four, artificial intelligence index. Identify the use of Wikipedia content by large language models such as ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc. This is machine readable. These indicators will provide greater visibility and recognition to Wikipedia and confidence to teachers and researchers when citing Wikipedia as a reference source. If you have any questions, it's time to search in Wikipedia. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Helaine Blumenthal. I'm from the United States, and I'm here as part of the Wiki Education Foundation. So I work with Liana, who you've all heard from a lot. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the work that Wiki Education is doing to tackle knowledge equity gaps on English Wikipedia. So I will be focusing primarily on the work that we do on English Wikipedia in very much in the US context. So just framing that for you all. So for the purposes of this talk, Knowledge equity is the idea that certain topics have been systematically underrepresented, misrepresented, or totally excluded from the record altogether, and that certain populations have been barred from producing, sharing, and accessing information. And so I'm going to talk about three sort of critical parts of the knowledge equity work that we are doing at Wiki Education in the US. And those are who is editing Wikipedia, so the community, what they're editing, the content, and ultimately who has access to that content. So the first piece, the people. We know that diverse content comes from diverse perspectives. And so at Wiki Education, we are trying to diversify the editing community on English Wikipedia, and we're doing this by working with primarily students. And so I'll run through some of the statistics about the students that we support in our program. So about 60% of the students we work with are women, 7% identify as gender diverse, and that's in contrast to the general editing community on English Wikipedia, which is about 80% male. Whereas 3% of the community identifies as either African American or Hispanic. These statistics are actually just very recent from spring 2025. 10% of our students identify as African American, 16% as Hispanic or Latino, 18% of our students report having some sort of disability, about 50% speak a language other than English, and about 23% are the first in their families to go to college. So while this still isn't actually like representative of the population at large, we're doing a lot of work towards making that community a lot more reflective and representative. So I'll move on to content. So that the diversity of who's editing helps to diversify the content. We're also being very intentional about the types of courses that we are working with at colleges and universities in the US and in Canada. So thus far, we have worked with 800 classes at colleges and universities that are very specifically working in these knowledge equity fields. And that means about 15,000 students have added 11 million words across 13,000 articles to English Wikipedia. And so the types of articles that they're editing are things like biographies of diverse people in STEM. They're writing articles like Asian American feminism, Black masculinity in American media. And they're not just writing about those topics directly, but they're also adding diverse perspectives to more mainstream articles. I just learned about a student that edited an article about a very famous US baseball player who faced a lot of discrimination as being both Puerto Rican and Black. And they added that section to that article. And so we take a really holistic approach to knowledge equity. So it's not just teaching the students, to think about who's editing and the content, but it's getting them to think about the sources they're using, the images they're uploading, the language they're using, and it's even teaching them how to identify knowledge equity gaps. It's a real skill to be able to go into an article and think about what perspectives might be missing. And so the last piece is access. So tackling the digital divide is out of the scope of the work that we do at Wiki Education. Like we're not, providing internet access to rural communities. But what we're trying to do is making sure that when people do go to Wikipedia, that they can find the content that they're looking for. And so the students that we work with, they come from a really broad range of universities. In the US and in Canada, they come from large urban centers as well as rural communities. And they really represent every sort of geographic area in the US and Canada. They're putting information that's behind paywalls onto Wikipedia, and they're translating complex topics so that the public at large can understand them. So I'll end by saying that knowledge equity work needs to be really intentional. It shouldn't be an afterthought. It shouldn't be, oh, that would be nice to do if I had the time. And that's why it has become a central part of the work that we're doing at Wiki Education. Thank you.
It works. Okay. Dear friends of knowledge, some years ago I went to Germany, being a guest speaker about Wikipedia in a seminar. The seminar was about finding information on the internet. It was organized by a labor organization, a trade union. The organizers had warned. Ziko, you must know, the participants are very diverse by educational level. Some are factory workers. Okay. I went to the seminar. I said, hello, I'm Ziko van Dijk, and I showed them a short video clip, and then I asked the participants, what did you see? Well, they said, the clip looks like from a TV show, a cooking show, and the chef cook explained to the contestants how to cook a dish. Seemingly, it seemed to be a very difficult dish to cook. And I listen, and I smile, and one participant says, why are you showing this video clip to us? Is the recipe of the dish from Wikipedia? Yes, I confirm, and I tell more about it. A journalist saw the TV show and he found out that the dish existed only in Wikipedia. The article was a hoax. It turned out that some pupils wanted to come up with something truly disgusting, mackerel with sausage and sauerkraut. They even went to a friend who worked at a restaurant and had him cook the dish and take a picture for Wikipedia. It looked authentic. A hoax by middle school pupils. And in the TV show, the chef cook all the time, this is very traditional from that region. Imagine the fishermen coming home and the white snake, like this, all made up. So why did I show this video clip in the seminar? Because, well, undeniably, I was the Wikipedia guy, but I did not want to promote Wikipedia or make propaganda. People don't want to listen to promotion. And with this video clip, unflattering about Wikipedia, I proved that I was not there for promoting a website, and it was very important for my credibility. And it was an indirect way to tell them they were allowed to say anything critical about Wikipedia without hurting my feelings. But also this, the participants were puzzled. How can a hoax happen in Wikipedia? Aren't there responsible editors who check everything that is going to be published on Wikipedia? And that is where I wanted to have them. Now they had a reason. Now they wanted to learn how Wikipedia works. And we had a reason to laugh together about a funny incident about the hoax. Well, I became a guest speaker at the seminar for many years since then. I have always been invited again, and I never had any problems with discipline or participants not coming back from the coffee break. As a speaker, your task is not to be an encyclopedia. Your task is to bring something interesting with you, something that you can talk about together. But should that not work, there is always a way to make the audience happy. Go fast. Other speaker?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Where's the last one?
Okay, that's all, folks. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have some time left, so if any of you have questions for Ziko or the previous speakers, you can ask them now.
I have one. I didn't know that.
Thank you, Ziko, for the cookies. I think that the way in which we communicate with others need to be changed. And this is one of the first part of be different. We need to behave more like an artist, you know, like performance, because we need to communicate in education. And for communicating, Wikipedia needs to be different from the academia. I mean, academia is very well. I love academia. I'm the son of the academia. I love academia, but we need to communicate in more performance style. So thank you very much for your style.
Yes. I can't remember his name. WikiKeys. Okay. The games. How do I put my question now? The games, can it be, how do you play it? Since it's a game, how do you play it? And what level of education can play that type of game?
I'm excited and show you.
Lilian, you help for the translation, please.
Hi. So that's the table game where each participant has cards, and we are trying to collaborate to make the best, to add the best information to a topic. But sometimes there is a mistake, an error, a wrong information. So they have to deal with that to address it.
So is it like a Scrabble where you have 2 people play or 4 people play?
4 people, or 6 people, or 2 people, possible. Or adapting to the numbers of necessary. Because the tumbler is expensive, small or larger.
So,
We need 10.
Existed in France,
French, French.
and we translate in Portuguese. But it's disponible in Wikimedia Commons, and it's possible translated for all languages. But I think in Brazil, we intend the adaptate for characteristics. Yes.
Thank you very much.
And it's also in English. French, Portuguese, and English.
It's also in Spanish.
Oh, there is also Spanish. That's great.
You have a machine?
Yes. I'm gonna second Sean's word, Ziko, on your presentation. Like, that was great, and it's also like, I love when people also have a sense of humor. It's like, I like to say always that, like, there's nothing more dangerous than power without sense of humor. And so, like, I love that you bring sense of humor into the table. I do have a question for Alex, but I think that he's right there. So I didn't understand the map. Like the colors on the map, they were all red, and so I didn't understand, like, if that's like places where the wiki keys has been used, or places that haven't been used. I didn't understand the map that you put.
Que no entendí el mapa.
Sí, que el mapa.
Claro, que no entendí el mapa que pusiste. Pusiste un mapa. ¿Sí? Sí, pusiste un mapa.
I don't remember.
Si no, no importa, es mencionado. Había un mapa en tu presentación, Alex.
It's possible.
Does anyone have questions?
We can encontrar uma aula.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I was interested to hear about your presentation about university clubs. And I wonder, are university clubs in touch with each other? Are they talking to each other? Is there some sort of network or plans for how you organize a university club at a university? I don't know if the speaker is still around, but I'm interested if people want to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so in Nigeria, something that has really worked to get a lot of contributors is that they work with universities. And in order to establish a club, what you need to do is try to liaise with a lecturer in a particular department or that works at, let's say, the administrative level. So when you have this lecturer, the parts of the process, like you can give them like some position, they could act as staff advisor or student advisor for the club. So that way they are carried along, and it's also easy to continue to sustain the club, because it will get to a point that maybe some of the students will graduate and you need to keep sustaining the club. So that's where the lecturer comes in, because the lecturer can be there for a very long time. So she should be the one to keep coordinating and thinking of how more students can be recruited to join the club. And in terms of collaboration among different universities, so what happened is that for some user group, what they do is if they have some campaigns like Wiki for Human Rights or Wiki Loves Africa and things like that, they try to give out micro grants to the fan clubs. So that way they are able to also sustain engagement within those fan clubs. And fan clubs can also come together to co-create different campaigns. So that's what has helped to sustain fan clubs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question over here. Thanks. Regarding the presentation that was made by Ali, you mentioned that there was an integration between the curriculum and the wiki tools. I don't know if you can go deeper on that.
Our curriculum, Nigerian curriculum, is totally different from every other part of the world. So after designing the classification of the subjects, now what I do is, sometimes when you talk about Wikipedia in an environment you don't understand it, it's very difficult to access. So what I did was liaise it with their curriculum in terms of, if there's a topic, let me take one of the subjects, civic education. That's civic responsibility in your community. If there's a topic like community engagement, if you go to Wiki page, search for community engagement, you might find an article written for community engagement. Now I bring it to the class, and I share my class into 4, because there's a technique I use during reading Wikipedia in the classroom that works for me. So I share them into 4, and I'll ask them to go to that wiki page, read about that community engagement, but check there are hyperlinks. You can see up to 6 of them. Tell them to click 4 that appeals to them. Each group will click 1, another group will click 1, another. So 4 groups will click 4 different links. Then they will read about the community engagement. Then they will come to the class and discuss community engagement.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I can say a point.
Is that question or comment, John?
No, I can tell can interpret a poem, but it's in Spanish. So maybe not all the people will understand. Yeah? In Spanish? It's very long, 3 minutes. It's about the water. The water. Yeah? Go ahead. Okay. El dios al que un hombre del estirpe de Atreo apresó en una playa que el bochorno lacera, se convirtió en león, en dragón, en pantera, en un árbol y en agua. Porque el agua es Proteo, es la nube, la irrecordable nube, es la gloria del ocaso que ahonda rojo los arrabales. Es el maestro que vierte los vórtices glaciales y la lágrima inútil que doy a tu memoria. Fue, en la cosmogonía, el origen secreto de la tierra que nutre, del fuego que devora, de los dioses que rigen el poniente y la aurora, así lo afirman Séneca y Tales de Mileto. El mar y la moviente montaña que destruye la nave de hierro solo son tus anáforas. Y el tiempo irreversible que nos hiere y que huye, agua, no es otra cosa que una de tus metáforas. Fuiste, bajo hermosos vientos, el laberinto sin muros ni ventana, cuyo cármenos grises largamente desviaron al anhelado Ulises de la muerte segura y el azar indistintos. Brillas como las crueles hojas de los alpamtes, hospedas como los sueños monstruos y pesadillas. Los lenguajes de los hombres te agregan maravillas y tus fugas se llaman el Éufrates o el Ganges. Afirman que es sagrada el agua del postrero, y como tus mares tejen oscuros canjes, y si el planeta es poroso, también es verdadero aceptar que todo hombre se ha bañado en el Ganges. De Quincy ha visto desgarrarse tu océano de rostros de naciones, has aplacado el ansia de las generaciones, has lavado la carne de mi Padre y de Cristo, agua, te lo suplico, por este soñoliento nudo de numerosas palabras que te digo, acuérdate de Borges, tu nadador, tu amigo, no faltes a mis labios en el postrer momento.
Okay, so we have a couple of minutes until we have a little break here at 3 p.m. And then, don't go please, because we'll have like a whole group chat and then the group photo here, okay? So go have a coffee and see you at 3. Okay. 3:30. Thank you for just your confidence.
Exchange of knowledge. We also talked about the newsletter and how to make the newsletter much more diverse and representative. So just a few highlights. There are loads of ideas, but I just want to pick up on what somebody mentioned is audiovisual format. So not only the written form and how to really, people can share their stories
in ways that are more the way that we share stories locally. How to obviously make this multilingual, not only translating from English to other languages, but actually producing in other languages. And also, my group talked a lot about accessibility, not only in terms of like neurodivergence, but also people who are deaf or blind, and the newsletter and our spaces need to account for that as well. So there was a lot of focus on diversity. And just moving on to what the working group should look like is representative of those different needs. So we can't have a working group about showcasing experiences or newsletters without having people with those capacities and skills working in the working group.
So our group discussed, like we have existing newsletter which is promoted over mailing list or through Telegram channels. So we thought of maybe collaborating with WMF to highlight the newsletters. Then we also talked about amplifying it to social medias. And if one region has published their newsletter already, so they can pitch to another country or region. Think of passing the pen, so that people have responsibility, like now it's my turn, and the thing goes on. We also talked about like there are new members joining the group, and newsletter meta page may be difficult for them to understand and upload their stories. So we talked about making a video on explaining how you can add your story to newsletters, and also using a simplified version of newsletter, maybe through Google Forms, where we have predefined questions and for new members. So an alternative for newsletters and then promote. And also one last thing that we have existing newsletters. We can take stories from those existing newsletters and maybe work on the campaigns on social medias like WMF does. So
there's a lot more, but we'll hand over to the next group on resources.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, everyone who participated on the resource curation and development group. And so we came up, I would say, doing a synthesis, and there is much more, as Jessica said, on the notes, that we are facing perhaps two major challenges. The first one is that we are dealing with a very large number of resources that are already there, that are not easily findable, that were basically put on Commons or on other repositories for wiki education, and that we basically need to find a way to organize. And the second one is that we need to take into consideration that people will come to resources with different demands. We are dealing with different publics, cultures, languages, and in order to make any other repository or service around resource curation, we need to take into consideration how to make this useful and relevant. And one of the answers that we came up with was the idea that we need to take very seriously the idea of data modeling based on language types, formats, levels, types of education, for instance, informal education resources. And an answer for this might be basically what we've been working on, which is on Wiki, trying to come up with a community-based modeling strategy, for instance, using on Wiki platforms or even Metabase, also considering the development of a mock-style platform that would also be connected with other platforms that already exist, where educators go to in the different regions, countries, finding a way to make this a cycle of resource dissemination. Again, we also said that modeling and uploading is not enough. We will need to come up with some sort of curation system, as we are talking about possibly thousands and thousands and thousands of resources. We'll need to find a way, a curation system that would highlight the ones that are considered the best, the most useful. So one idea was to have the working group members work on some mechanisms to choose some of these highlights, but also a more structured mechanism in which, for instance, community members could like, dislike some of the resources that they find available, so we can find a way for to have a popularity contest for resources. Another point that was raised, and now talking about some of the challenges that we will face if this system were to exist, is to make it accessible, which is also always a challenge, as it was said on the other group, around language, but also other mechanisms of accessibility. The other one would be to motivate people to upload and to share what they've produced in their local context without generating a new burden of work, of extra work, especially if we are very serious about data modeling. And a last point was, in order to make this system work well, we will need to have different actors in this working group coming with different backgrounds, even some technical backgrounds, some people who are more used with these lines of open educational resources, educators, Wikimedians, and that we will need also to take into consideration language and region. So that's it from our group, and of course, many much more on the books.
Hello, everyone. So I had the technical infrastructure group, which was small but mighty. And I think we focused on a couple of the additional feature requests that have been commonly requested for the program events dashboard, which are things like support for features that are available in some languages, but not all languages for the dashboard, better organizing of campaigns and programs so that it's easier to find the ones you care about, support for creating and maintaining your own dashboard installation so that it can just contain your programs and not everyone's, better search of the dashboard, and better education program-specific features. And we had a lot of those original ideas were confirmed to be things that the working group folks were still excited and interested about, but our discussion added some additional ones related to language support and some additional education support related features. So it was a very good session to sort of confirm that. We also talked about different forms of capacity building for dashboard training, and I think the common conclusion was every community has a different form that works for them, and so I would say the holistic conclusion was we need to provide lots of different opportunities and lots of different mediums in order to reach folks on the dashboard training. We also talked about what other technical outside of the dashboard, what other kinds of technical tools might be helpful, and some interesting ones were tools for indicating when generative AI was used in the article creation process. So there were some interesting sessions earlier today about using generative AI, but being able to have some sort of flag that we can disclose that you use generative AI in the article creation process, and tools for making multimedia contributions easier as well. And then finally, we talked about what a good working group for this service would look like, and we identified sort of diversity of region, geography, culture, and specifically for this group, profession. So we wanted to make sure we have some people with technical expertise, as well as folks who are actually professors or students or librarians or folks who are using the dashboard as a user rather than as a developer, to make sure that we have both of those views represented on the working group. And that's it for me.
Thank you. I'll try to review what we talked about in the capacity building. Yeah, mentorship was the main topic. I don't know if this works. So it is that it's important to do a needs assessment first for both mentors and mentees. When we create a cohort of mentors, they should be representative of the movement. So to include that diversity, right? And we should spend time resourcing them, so giving them tailored support and making sure that they're ready to provide appropriate mentorship. Mentorship pairing should be done based on regional, thematic, and other, especially experience levels in mind, so that we don't mismatch people.
both mentors and mentees need guidelines, structure, and regular check-ins. So we make sure that the mentorship is going well. Both mentors and mentorships should have reasonable time commitments towards mentorship, because if not, then it all falls apart. Follow-up meetings and assessments after the mentorships have concluded would offer us valuable evaluation information. It was also our consensus that we should provide safe learning spaces so that mentors can support mentees in defining clear and achievable goals, help them with maintaining help them with planning and organizing, thinking in detail, self-sufficiency, community building, communication skills, and etc. So many different hard and soft skills. Some pointed out that it's very important to connect with other networks and partners, like Capacity Exchange and Let's Connect, so that we can share good practices and don't waste resources. We should make sure that affiliates and non-affiliates alike are connected to a mentor or a trained mentee, so that they can support their work after the cohort. So basically, having the mentee spread the work, the skills and resources that they acquire. Finally, the working groups should have representation from underrepresented groups. And of course, we need dedicated staff time for coordination and monitoring of the whole process. And as a consequence of this, and further mentorship programs, hopefully, the movement at large should become stronger, more skilled, and better resourced. So those are the conclusions that we have. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, I see we got loads of interesting suggestions, contributions from all of the working groups. However, due to limited budgets that we have for the first implementation, we might not be able to achieve all of these suggestions that we all have, and we might need to move some of these to the next implementation. So I'm just saying this so that we are aware before we embark on the actual implementation. Now, as part of the next steps, like what Jessica said, we'll be moving all of this interesting conversation on Meta to also get more feedback. If you would like to go back, maybe while you're back home and you just remember maybe an interesting idea and you would like to add more inputs, then the Meta will be open for more suggestions. Now, also as part of the next steps, we would need to better define our roles and responsibilities for each working group based on all of the feedback we gathered here. And while we are updating the working group's roles and responsibilities, we'll also send out a call for applications to join the working group. So we hope that the call for application will go out latest, maybe ending of this month. Yeah, so that's the next steps, and I look forward to seeing. Ending of this month or next month? No, this. Oh, sorry, June. I forgot. Yes, ending of June, not May, because today is the end of May. Yeah. Yeah, so that's part of our next steps, and I look forward to how we can have everyone in this room be part of any of the working group and see how we can shape the future of the EduWiki. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to make a quick note, because I noticed when Bukola mentioned the limitations, the sad face was going up here, and the reaction. And now with my foundation hat as the person who's part of the team that's supporting the hub funding, and I've been working with the user group on this proposal, what we really encouraged is first focus on the services. As you've seen, all our discussion here has been on the services, based on all the research that has been done and what are the needs of the community. Obviously, there's a lot of other needs that the education community that has come from that research that the user group is not included in this plan because there was a prioritization. And the idea of the pilot that obviously has limited time, resources, and human resources is to test and is to
define what of these services work on this scale, what are some of the methodologies, how can we scale issues like multilingualism, issues like services that go from the global to the local. So it doesn't mean that our ambitions can't be big, but it does mean that we have to start small to test and learn. Like a lot of you are teachers, and you know we start in the classroom, we test, we learn, and then we scale. So that's the idea of the pilot. So it doesn't mean that a lot of these things won't be included. They just might be included at a small scale to learn and then be able to look at what is needed in the future for this to grow and be sustainable. So I just wanted to add that element from the foundation perspective that is supporting these hub pilots.
It does make sense.
Did it go up? No, I'm laughing now. No.
Thanks, Jessica. All right, so please go to the scan your QR code and go.
I just posted it on Telegram as well, so please join us.
That helps as well. So we want to gauge your feedback for today, although a bit shorter than yesterday, because we have errands to do. So how do you feel at the end of the second day? Are we accepting?
We are. Energized!
Energized, okay.
Fantastic, sleepy, tired. I can't read that fast. Tequila, hello.
I wanted to do a screenshot of this word cloud from yesterday's presentation, and I, by mistake, deleted the response with the most.
Oh, killer.
That's so easy to do in a slides.
I think people are really tired of doing that feeling.
But if you have any more verbose comments, like yesterday, we'll be happy to hear them.
Or the coffee station may still be open.
So does anyone have any thoughts, impressions, questions, statements, feedback? I guess people are tired.
I think tired is stuck.
We need you not to be tired because we have dinner and dancing.
It took a nap.
You said dancing.
Pardon?
Did you say dancing?
Yeah. I said dancing.
Dancing. Yeah.
Colombia's promised us dancing, and dancing will happen. All right. Well, there are no more feedback. Let's do this. Who or what inspired you the most today? You can write a few things. So, people, persons, concepts, presentations, whatever. Jackie, nice. There, Jackie in 2 ways. You.
All of you.
All of you, yeah.
I'm not sure if we can scroll. Let me try to do that.
Let's try to scroll. Liana, Jessica. Yeah, see, that's fine.
I don't know it. I'll take it.
I mean, we have 3 stages. It's just the first one, suggestions, and then you'll get to vote. I'm going to give you a few more seconds, but we need to go to voting.
Yeah, I'll go to voting.
Yes.
Can you guys vote?
Yes.
Okay.
I see 6 votes. You can maybe refresh the page. Oh, we got 29, 30 votes. And 46 before. People in. Oh, more votes to people.
Guess you can vote for more than one.
I guess.
Philip and I are voting on our slides as we go.
No, I just have a limit of like 3 per person. All right, let's wait until 100, right?
Okay.
Oh, very quick.
Okay.
We don't have anything for the winner, so. Let's conclude. You need to click there.
Yeah. Philip, tell me if you did.
Yes. And the results are
Create Commons, AI Topics, and Mohammed all share this in the first place. But I think Mohammed and AI Topics are the same, right?
Yes.
I think we have a 3 winner. Round of applause for Mohammed and AI Topics. And an honorary mention to Shreya and Create Commons. Great. Let's move on. Okay. So yeah, reminder, talk about the conference. We have the hashtag now. So please write to your preferred social networks and post. Also, Liana was sad to tell me that Commons is even sadder that there are no photos there. Empty.
Day 3 is okay to be empty because day 3 hasn't happened yet. The day 1 and day 2 should have some photos in them. And a reminder to please also upload the PDFs of the presentation, of your slide presentations, to the EduWiki Conference 2025 presentations category.
Yes. Let's do this quick one.
Okay, we can do it real quick.
We can do real quick. What is a good example for celebrating education or Wikipedia or this conference with social media? It's a fun one. There's no correct answer. Last year, this was a poll, right, with a correct answer. Okay, it's pretty evenly split. Yeah, that's good, I think. But I think we should give kudos to the local team.
I think so.
Hey!
They're busy organizing the group photo and our museum tour and dancing. They've been wonderful.
And dinner.
And dinner, yes.
No dancing without dinner.
No.
Yeah, I have 4 sessions that are not plenary tomorrow, so
Let's just move on. In the interest of time.
But wait. So yeah, announcement for tomorrow morning.
Is this me?
I think so. That's not me.
Great. Okay. So tomorrow morning we will have a wonderful panel discussion with Bashak, Juan Sebastian, Lucia, Shreya, and Ziko, who will be talking about the important topic of youth and Wikimedia. I've seen the outline for this presentation and it should be very, very good and interesting. So I strongly encourage you, we are starting at 9:30 tomorrow instead of 9 a.m. so that you can recover a little from the dinner and dancing tonight. So please show up at 9:30 and be ready to talk about the importance of youth in our movement.
Yes, at the last slide, we want to recreate this in a way. It won't be green, but
it will not be as green, but we are going to do it in front of the hotel. So
outside.